Okay, that's okay. Good evening. I would like to call this regular meeting of council to order on December 16th at 7:01 PM. We will stay seated for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. As we gather this evening, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we're meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. We will now move on to the mayor's address. Could we make it slightly bigger?
Just so you know, when I do the meeting, when the PDF opens, just give me a second, because
Okay.
it takes
Perfect.
just 1 second to get to the.
You're the best. I can read it from here too. Okay, whoa, that's good. Since our last township meeting in November, I've attended 2 county council meetings, an Ottawa Valley Waste Recovery meeting, and on November 20th, I attended the Shawwoods board meeting. The rec committee and friends constructed an awesome parade float for the Eagle Santa Claus parade. Once again, many hands make light work. And because I constructed this on Thursday, I didn't realize, that maybe we would win. So I'd like to thank the rec committee that we did win best float in the parade. So that's very exciting. I know we won't be able to go to Walt Disney World with the money, but donate it back to the cause. Our own Val Hinsberger was honored with the Renfrew County Warden's Community Service Award in the individual category. We are so lucky to have an individual like Val in our township. I would like to thank Laura and Mayor Brose for helping out with the application. Everyone who attended the township's Christmas dinner had a great time. A special thanks to Laura who organized the event. I would also like to thank you to all the township staff, councillors, and the CAO who have guided me through Mayor Brose's absence. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to have been interim mayor, and I definitely learned a lot. Also, I can't speak tonight. A congratulations to Mayor Jennifer Murphy for being elected the next warden for Renfrew County. I am sure she will excel in this role. And finally, I would like to wish all employees, ratepayers, and residents a very Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year. This concludes my address. Any errors or omissions or anything you'd like to talk about? Seeing none, moved by Mr. Burnt, Councillor Burnt, seconded by Councillor Robinson. All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Now moving on to item 5, adoption of the minutes. Sorry,
Can I ask you to pause for a minute? Something seems to have happened to our recording here.
Okay, it's probably because I was slurring my words.
I don't know, it's just not very good.
And if you mentioned item 4, Janet, so.
Okay. I'm going to Lauren.
It's just doing some circle right too.
Okay.
Oh,
Second by
It's a gremlin. The computer gremlin.
it's not that.
Because that,
I'll just use the paper to back it up.
maybe you want, I don't know, if we'll take this one, do you want to point the mic towards you just to, or, maybe the owl picks it up, I'm not sure.
Okay, I think we're back.
Oops.
Better, that was a bit.
Okay, moving forward, is there any declarations of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Seeing none, we will go to the approval of the minutes and the adoption. That the October 20th, 25 special and the November 18th, 2025 regular council meetings be approved as presented. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buchwald. Any errors or omissions or additions? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Any delegations? Seeing no delegations, we'll move on to reports and new business. Agenda item 7.1, Bonisher Union Public Library. The Bonisher Public Union Library October/November board report and the November CEO report be accepted as presented. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Burt. Any questions? Yes, Councillor Robinson?
Just to note, the board report
Yes,
was the board report of last month.
right.
So I will do a correction for it on this, when we do January,
Okay,
because for some reason the two,
this didn't seem to mesh.
yeah.
Okay,
But
and,
I should note
right,
that, because a lot of things happened. One of the big thing was Cooper Ops,
right,
and they made the highest they have in fundraising close to $6,000. And considering that it was the weather that we had, it was very, very well attended. So just one of those,
that's good to hear.
yeah.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Carried. Okay, agenda item 7.2, municipal business calendar. Do we want to see it, council? Yeah, I'll read it. The council accepts the 2026 municipal business calendar report as presented, and that staff update the information on the township social medias. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Brent. Any questions or comments? Councilor Buckwell?
Just something for staff. This is good to see that we added your plan. So again, we can get this information out and it's not as piecemeal. So thank you.
And from my point of view, as being the rec chair, sometimes we've tried to have a meeting on a certain date and then Truth and Reconciliation would come in, or then it was Easter Monday. So this is great for the planning, and then we don't have to worry about identifying and talking and telling people that the meeting has to be moved and stuff like that. So I think that's a great idea. So thank you for doing that. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay, agenda item 7.3, Kellaloo OPP Board of Directors. The council accept this report and direct staff to include a Kellaloo OPP Detachment Board line item for the 2026 budget process in the amount of $1,225. Moved by Councilor Buckwald, seconded by Councilor Burnett. Discussion? Councilor Buckwald?
Yeah, I'll just speak to it. So council has seen the report. So we had our second meeting of the year, which is all we'll have this year. We're required to have 4. But because of the challenges with getting the required mandatory training done, we're going to get that this year. And there's a lot of boards in the same situation. So it's not going to be a problem. Second thing is the budget. That was basically covering things like insurance, some advertising, and compensation for the non-council members of the board that the board is required to give remuneration to. So we set an amount that seems to be in line with most of the townships that have various bylaws. And we would be on a shared seven-way split between each of the partners. It's so much easier than trying to do a per capita or per household type thing for the board. In the report, it also says that Inspector Steph Newfield is a detachment commander. That's changing. Steph just got promoted to superintendent and will be moving to Eastern Regional Headquarters in the new year. So one of the first things that the board will be involved with in the new year is providing input on selecting a new detachment commander. So I suspect that will be happening in our first or second meeting of next year. Other than that, the report is pretty standard, and the stats report is available from the office staff. Client stats seem to be trending down in our area.
So is the amount board set at 150 per meeting just for like, the volunteer members or just everybody that's sitting on the board?
Well, the members of council are each compensated by their own councils and
Okay.
according to their own bylaws. But the board's required to have 2 provincial appointees
Okay,
and 2 members of the general public appointees per detachment. So that would be 4 individuals getting paid for 4 meetings per year.
okay,
So that's where that comes from.
okay, thank you. Any other questions?
It's clear.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, agenda item 7.4, agricultural tile drain loan request. The council approves the application for the Felski tile drain loan. Councillor, so moved by Councillor Whipple, sorry, seconded by Councillor Burnt. Any questions or comments? No, seeing none, all in favor? Did you have a question, Councillor Burnt? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Seven point five, agenda report. The council can accept this report, so. Yes, I'll count, but I'm not with it there. Councillor Buckle.
You're not gonna get Janet, so have to finish. the meeting.
Second by Councillor, so thank you. Any questions about the report? Councillor Buckle?
Just good to see that we're going into a 3-year contract with the insurance provider. And that the 0 increases for 2 of those subsequent years. Excellent.
Yeah, just on that, we were budgeting for, 9-10% increase. And that's not what we came back on, so let's bite on the 0% increase over 3 years.
That's excellent.
I'm suggesting.
And I do like having the agreement over 3 years, so then you're not revisiting it all the time. That saves on staff time and energy and everything else. Any other questions?
If I may,
Yes,
I just did a report like this, like we had a number of bylaws on here, and instead of not writing, notation on each of them or writing a full report on each bylaw, I just kind of lumped it all together. And thank you, I'm okay with this.
That's good.
any other questions? All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 8.1, financial update. 05. Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Burke. The council accepts the financial update report as presented. Does anyone want to talk about the report? Seeing anything that's looking like we should discuss?
I can just, one thing that you may see, our auditors are doing their audit right now this time of year. And so they're putting together all these, what they call the management letters, which notes any deficiencies, et cetera. They always push for either trial balance or budget variance monthly. We've kind of said, hey, maybe every 3 months or so, because not enough changes on a monthly basis, but council, if it's okay on the agenda, we may see it with greater frequency. It's there for information.
Councilor Robinson?
Is that being asked by the auditors to do this, or?
It's really seems, we're still negotiating some items, but it seems to be their preference at present to be monthly, yes. Which again, I find this a little bit too high in frequency.
I do remember them asking that before. I guess my ask would be is that we have been very inconsistent with getting the reports, and I'm hoping that we will get them every 3 months. I think that would be important.
Yeah.
And there's a number of reasons why it's been inconsistent, but I think once we start going, I think that would be fine.
And one of the questions I've asked the auditors, I said on a number of these items, I said, hey, if we get a council resolution to say this is our preference, well, that's one way to hear back from them. And so maybe we'll do a report in the future to say, resolution to say we'll get the reports on such and such months. But maybe I don't know.
Okay, that would be good.
And that would be kind of like that calendar that we have with staff, and it would be nice to know, like this month, we're always gonna see the budget variance, then we're gonna see it this month, and then we're gonna see it.
Yeah, to be added to the business calendar.
Yeah. Then I think it just keeps everybody on track too. Okay, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 8.2, CBO update. Moved by Councilor Buckland, seconded by Brent. The council accepts the report as presented. Could we bring the report up? Just because we have two council members that are having a hard time with the computer.
Implemental.
Yeah, so we're looking at 94 permits to the stage here. Look at 10 results for the pool.
It is nice seeing the new dwellings for sure, because that means like additional tax revenue. For sure. It's unfortunate that we have 23 fewer permits. You know. And it's good to see that a lot of that permit information has been digitized, so that I think will make it much easier if we have to search something or go back on something, so. That's a positive step forward, I think. Councilor Buckle?
Look, I didn't think to send this question earlier. Any idea why there's so many septic permits this year for the small number of dwellings?
No, yeah, usually those numbers are a little closer together, but I can follow up on what's yeah.
Like perhaps it's like people with cottages and stuff like that, or some people just needing older house, needing new,
Big upgrades, yeah.
you know. Councilor,
I noticed during the summertime, it's a lot of because it was so dry. There were issues
Some damage maybe.
there were damages. Some were just had to be moved, and so I think there was a little bit of that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 8.3, bylaw enforcement update. Moved by Councilor Buckball, seconded by Councilor Whitford. Any questions or comments? I thought the one about the stray cats was interesting. Maybe that wasn't even like. But remember, a long time ago, we were thinking about, you know, getting a truck so we could house like stray animals and stuff. And really, it's good that we didn't make that investment, because when you look at that, it doesn't look like really we have too many animals at large that we're truly dealing with, right?
And sometimes they're caught and let go in our community. So it's not necessarily our issues,
Yes.
it's just transported issues. Yeah.
Councilor Buckland?
I know I was speaking to bylaw board the other night, and after she'd written the report, we wound up with one dog that wound up going to
Yeah, that's
the
right,
FPCA.
which is pretty amazing. So maybe we're just doing a better job than our township looking after our animals and whatever, but I'm glad we didn't make that big investment.
Sure.
Okay, any other concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 9.1, non-action. Moved by Councilor Burke, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Any comments or concerns or discussions about the non-action items? Okay. Seeing none. All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 9.2.1, Renfrew County, moved by Councilor Buckle, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the County of Renfrew, and that the Council of the Township of North Algona Wilberforce supports the motion requesting the members of Parliament and members of provincial Parliament support a nation building 2+1 highway program on Highway 17 and 11, phased implementation, and a federal provincial partnership under the Building Canada Act. And therefore, a copy of the resolution be forwarded to Renfrew County, the Right Honorable Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, and the Honorable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario. Councillor Robinson?
Sorry.
Does anybody want to know what a 2+1 highway looks like?
Sure.
Okay, because I just learned that when I went to county. So imagine you've got three lanes of highway, and then there's a divide. So at some points on the highway, it's like a 2-laner and 1-laner going this way, and then up the highway, there would be 2 lanes coming this way and 1 going up there. Apparently in Europe, it's really something that's happening there a lot. The councillor from Petawawa said he drove, let's say, from the twinning, let's say from Arnprior up to Deep River. And he didn't think there was a lot of road space where we could do the 2.1. However, the 2.2+1 is still cheaper than the 2 twinnings. So the main strategy is the twinning first, but maybe we could in the interim do a 2+1, maybe, I don't know.
The other thing too is like the twinning is difficult because of where the roads go through. Like, you know, something like Copley, you have to bypass Copley. And even at Renfrew, you have to go a second bridge to get across the river there. So there's a lot of restrictions on that, but even the 2+1 model. So yeah, it's basically you have a passing lane
That's
all the way from side to side.
That's
And there's already places on the Trans-Canada that have
That
that.
does that.
And
Yeah.
it does work very well. It gives you that option to improve your traffic flow.
And
I think that's a more viable option. Like once you get past, say, you know, Petawawa and heading out to the county and then heading up towards North Bay, I think the 2+1 model is probably going to give you the level of additional traffic that you want, as opposed to going to the expense of twinning the entire stretch.
same thing with 11.
That's right, yeah. Like, I mean, the interesting thing is, I think they're trying to say maybe that we could be like a pilot place, you know, and maybe we could get some monies that way. So, I mean, but it's a big thing at county council, and like, I never really thought about it till I was there. But even then, like, you need 20,000 vehicles on the road per day traveling, and then they think more about twinning, right? But like Councillor Nicholson or Mayor Nicholson and Whitewater said, we keep, like, with that in Compton, he said, if we don't start that now, like, how are we gonna accommodate 20,000 people going on this road?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's true, like, it's like, you have to really think now, you know, you can't think like, you know, 20 years from now, you're gonna do it because it will just be a total chaos.
There won't be any, like the population will have grown into it.
Mhm.
Like right now where Compton is, there's a couple of areas that are open space.
Mhm.
And this is the time to sort of secure those landmarks
Mhm.
in order to do that.
Yeah,
Because once the roads have either been twinned or 2+1, then you don't have any boundaries where you can have people putting properties and you have the space and you wouldn't have it with just a single or 2-lane.
Yeah.
Your expansion becomes cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
well, in our service in Petawawa, he talked about like the Department of National Defense. If we have to move vehicles quickly out of, let's say, Petawawa to Ottawa, we're gonna hit a bottleneck. Like, so there's other things, and even like, you know, CNL, like there's other things factoring in place that I don't think the provincial and federal governments are really grasping. You know, and I think it's just because we're seen as a rural community, you know, therefore, like, who really cares?
Well, that too, and the pathway to Northern Ontario for most people was from Toronto going up 411. Right, so they think that, if you see how 11 has been upgraded from
Oh,
one
for
hill up towards North Bay in the years. Right, because again, that's what you're familiar with, right? This is a good example of lobbying to get people to realize that, yes, you have, you know, Ottawa, you have Quebec crossing into to go up on this side. You've got the borders now at 401, where instead of having to go all the way across to 400, they can go up through this way
That's right.
to get to North Bay and Timmins and other places. So,
So the county really wants the twinning, but they feel like at least this could be like a start or something. And I won't tell you about the roundabouts because they were like crazy. I'm like, you can't be putting roundabouts all over.
But that's the new trend.
That is the new trend.
and they work.
I know,
I hate to say it, that they're hard for some people to swallow, but they do work.
Yeah.
I know. I have to go back to driving school. Okay, any other questions or concerns?
No.
No, seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Item 9.2.2, Town of Deep River. Whereas the Township of North Algona received correspondence from the Town of Deep River, and that the Council of the Township of North Algona Wilberforce supports the motion requesting support for the future use and deployment of Canadian nuclear energy, particular Canadian design CANDU reactors associated with medical isotopes and small modular reactors. And therefore, a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the Town of Deep River, the Right Honorable Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, and the Honorable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Burnt. Any questions or comments? I think this is really important because I mean, not only are those CANDU reactors and those isotopes important in Canada, right? But there is a job possibility of people having more employment up there, so that's important too. Any other questions, concerns, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 9.2.3, the Township of Chapel. Move by Councillor Burnt, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the Township of Chapel supporting the Township of Southgate regarding the Elect Respect Pledge, and that the Council of the Township of North Algona Wilberforce supports the motion calling on elected officials, organizations, and community members to support the Elect Respect campaign and sign an online pledge at www.electspect.ca. And therefore, a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the Township of Chapel. Any questions or comments? I do think this is really important because there's a lot of municipal, people, employees, okay, and also, elected officials that are being disrespected, right? And like, to me, personally, you can disrespect the policies, you can disrespect, but don't disrespect the person, right? Because I think that takes us just to a whole other level and it's just not right. And if you don't like what we're doing, then run. Run for office. Any other questions or concerns or comments? Seeing none? All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 10.1, bylaw to establish tile draining rating. Moved by Councilor Buckwald, seconded by Councilor Burke. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw 2025-44, a bylaw imposing special annual drainage rates upon land in respect of which money is borrowed under the Tile Drainage Act. Any questions or concerns? Councilor Burke, what do you think about tile drainage?
There's some being done in our township for sure.
Mhm. And I think it's important, right?
Oh,
Makes the
yeah.
drawings better. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 10.2, bylaw to amend circular materials agreement. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Buckwald. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw 2025-45, a bylaw to authorize the execution of an amended agreement between the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township and Circular Materials Ontario. Any questions or comments? Okay, I just have one comment, just because when I was at the waste recovery. So Circular Materials Ontario, they're gonna look after all the recycling and this is all good. Except they're not going to take any industrial or commercial recycling. So that is throwing a real monkey wrench into, like, let's say Miller's or in Pembroke, where the same truck would go, of course, the people would pay more if you have a business or, an industry would pay more to get it picked up. But the same truck would pick up all of the recyclables and garbage, and now they're not going to do that.
Some of the businesses.
So now, like Whitewater and the city of Pembroke, they've asked if they could extend it till after, not January the 1st, but after, so they can figure out how they're going to service those different businesses. So it's an interesting problem.
Well, we have in our township too, that do commercial recycling. Or like the camps, red pine, places like that.
Oh, yeah.
So I do think Adrian's working on a plan for that, but it's just something that I never thought about when we were doing this circular materials Ontario. In my head, I just thought we do different things. But this is different.
Just on this, like, yeah, so this group is taking it and Miller's taking over on behalf of the township, but boy, there's just information every day. This is, there's still, and I've talked about this at council all the time, but I've talked about it again because it's just a constant churning of information and these people, like, I get this change order sent to me, they know. They've called me and asked me, like, when's your council meeting, but they send me almost every day. You know, I think they're really just, I don't know, there seems to be scrambling.
I think they are scrambling because now the date's happening, right?
Yeah.
You know, and like, the Ottawa Waste Valley, they've done a tremendous job of keeping stuff out of the landfill, so that's extended the landfill's, like timeline, right? But, I mean, there's other things going on. And that's the unfortunate thing. Now you can recycle black plastic, which is good, and you're gonna be able to recycle all those, you know, where your flowers come in and stuff. So they're gonna take more, which is gonna divert more stuff from the landfill, but to me, the biggest problem is how you're gonna deal with the commercial and the business type of things.
Because what you don't want is the things to end up on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what the landfill has done is now like, they've increased tipping fees for certain things, and they went a considerable 1 to 500 because they were afraid now the businesses were just gonna dump everything into their garbage bags, and then what happens is that also ends up adding to the landfill and it decreases life expectancy. So they hope by increasing that substantially, that those businesses are gonna think twice and more, but I mean, there's gotta be somebody out there gonna look after the businesses to take their recyclables.
The question is, what's the cost of it, because they still have to get rid of that material too.
Exactly.
It may turn out, and I don't know what the other municipalities' plans are, but it may be the municipalities may have to enter into a separate agreement with CMO or with Millers or CMO with Millers. To pay a surcharge for that commercial industrial.
Yeah, like we're pretty lucky here, right, because we don't have the trucks on the road, right? But it's a very big concern for the Ranchi Valley and the city of Pembroke. And I don't even think, and they thought around the board table, that some of those businesses aren't even realizing what's going on.
No.
They'd be
Because
like,
they won't have been notified, because it's residences that have been notified to change these.
and sometimes you don't think about that stuff because the garbage just gets picked up, right? Anyway, it'll be interesting. Okay, no other comments or concerns, saying none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 10.3, bylaw to establish 2025 schedule of fees. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Dr. Robinson. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw. Bylaw 2025-46, a bylaw to establish a schedule of fees for the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce. Any questions or concerns, or Luke, would you like to speak about this?
Sure, well, I mean, Laura largely puts this together, but I guess my comment is there wasn't too many changes. I massaged some of the planning fees just to include the county fees right at the onset, so we don't have to invoice people at a later date. That was kind of the thing. I think we upped, you know, there's very, very minimal changes. And maybe we should talk about at a later date, the facility rental fees. Just to be clear, because I think yeah, I think it's time we talked about.
Right. And so I think because Luke and I have talked about that, just trying to streamline the facility rental fees. Because they kind of are all over the place and stuff like that. And I think then probably the people in the office spend a lot of time, you know, telling people and then switching and doing this. So we'll talk about it later on next year to do.
Standards.
I think that would be better. And my suggestion was then we make sure we can even put it on the website where somebody can find it really easily. Because lots of times people would ask me and I said, I don't know, you have to call the office. And I mean, we can even put them in our different rental facilities. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 10, for bylaw to employ township officers and staff. Moved by Councilor Robinson, second by Councilor Bothwell. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw 2025-47, a bylaw to employ township officers and employees. Do we want to see the report? Everyone okay? I see it, okay.
Yeah, this is our employee by all police employee benefits and. That's right. This is one we talked about, the part-time leaves, we've carried that forward.
Any comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 10.5, bylaw to establish annual remuneration for benefits for council members. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Burke. Any questions, comments?
You're saying 2.5% COLA with benefit.
Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 10.6, bylaw to authorize borrowing. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw 2025-41, a bylaw to authorize borrowing from time to time to meet current expenditures during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026, moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Maria. Robinson, sorry, Councilor. So short one, Jeff. Any questions or comments? This is a standard one that we always do. Okay. No other comments, seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 10.7, bylaw to authorize transfer of land. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw 2025-50, a bylaw to authorize the transfer of land to Glenn Bingham and Laura Cameron. Councilor Robinson moved, seconded by Councilor Buckwell. Any questions? Comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 10.8. Bylaw to authorize appointments. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw. I know I'm changing this up a little bit. Bylaw 2025-51, a bylaw to appoint persons to provide for and assist in the administration, protection, and management of the municipality. That was a tongue twister. Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Burt. Any questions or comments? This is also a very standard one. Anybody want to change with it now? No. Just have it from one convention and everything.
Can we?
I think everybody's been put into their strength position, I think, so. No other comments? All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 10.9, bylaw agreement for use of programs and facilities in BV. Now, therefore, the Council of North Algona enact the following bylaw 2025-52, a bylaw to authorize the mayor and clerk to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the Township of North Algona Wilberforce and the Corporation of the Township of Bonaventure Valley to allow access to programs and facilities of the Township of Bonaventure Valley. Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Burke. Could we bring up that appendix A? Please?
No,
That's not it. It might have been at the bottom, yeah, yeah, keep going.
just a second,
There it is. So.
And 2003 needs to change.
Oh, we saw that original ones. Oh. Number four, if we can look that on the phone. You see that?
This is just the renewal of the old agreement, so just, the dates change.
I do like though in the resolution how it says all the programs and facilities, right? Where before, a lot of the time, it was just really the rent. Yeah, right, so this is very inclusive, right?
Yeah.
We'll make that change upon sign or prior to signing.
So $20,000 is what we've been paying all along to use really the rent.
Is it just specific to the rank? What about all the other programs?
I think it was just before, correct me if I'm wrong, Laura, I think it was just, that was the user fee for the people figure skating and playing hockey, right? And the amount we paid.
And ball.
And ball was 20,000. Right. But now it appears that we could use anything there. I like the fact that all these said facilities and, so that's good. It would be nice though, if they were able to tell us how many people were actually using it. I don't know if we could ever make that comment, so we know how many north of one.
I have that all forward, that says, so, yeah.
Okay.
Just to see, and it would be nice just to keep like, for following and subsequent years, is their numbers going up or are they going down?
Yeah.
It's still probably a pretty good deal considering that we have to run our own rink, or even, I talked to the mayor of Killaloe regarding the insurance, and they have outdoor rinks, and I said, how does that work? When the outdoor rink is open and the canteen is open, there's a municipal staff that has to go there, so that's a cost also. Yeah. Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 10.10, bylaw to enter into agreement with Marsh Canada Limited. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw 2025-53, a bylaw to authorize the execution of a 3-year term insurance agreement between the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce and Marsh Canada Limited. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buchwald. Any questions or comments? It's nice to see our insurance rates didn't go up, but that would be my biggest sign.
That's huge.
I see. Maybe we shouldn't say that about. All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 15. Well, now we're going to the closed session. Is this true? Okay. Agenda item 15, council.
You should do 14 first,
I don't.
just the upcoming meetings.
Oh, okay, sorry. All right, gotcha. So the recreation meeting, yes, we're not coming back till January the 5th. Everybody's welcome to come. Special council budget meeting, January the 7th at 2.
Except we won't, no, because we're pushing that to 3.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna put that in my phone right now.
3 copies.
Okay,
That's, there's an ad in the newspaper,
okay.
and we will put on the website, etc.
Okay, I'm just gonna change it in my phone so I don't forget. Okay, and the regular council meeting will be on January 21st, 2026 at 7 p.m. and the real mayor will be back in the seat, okay?
And I'll be expressing regrets for that meeting, I'll be out of town.
Oh, okay. I'm sure, Mayor Rose will be fine with that. Okay, now we're going on to agenda item 15. Council into closed session pursuant to section 239, bracket 2, AB of Municipal Act, security of municipal property, personal matters about an identifiable individual. Moved by Councilor Robinson, second by Councilor Buchwald. The council go into closed session at 7:46. Any questions? No. All in favor? Carried. I'm gonna change my numbers on here then.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Agenda item 17, confirmatory bylaw, moved by Councilor Burnt, second by Councillor Robinson. That bylaw 2025-54 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council for December 16th, 2025. Read a first and second time the 16th day of December 2025, read a third time and finally passed the 16th day of December 2025. All in favor? Passed. Okay. Agenda item 18, adjournment. Moved by Councillor Robinson, second by Councillor Buckles. That this December 16th, 2025 regular meeting of council adjourns at 8:33 p.m. Any questions, comments, omissions, errors? Okay, seeing none. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas.